Doris is a very busy woman who is so committed to her job. Therefore, she hired Agnes to assist her in her home chores, which includes cleaning her home, cooking, washing, and assisting for every home needs when she is away. But it's barely 3 months that Agnes was employed. It turned out that she was pregnant. The question in everyone's mind is this: who is responsible for the pregnancy? Who is Agnes sleeping with? Could it be the gate man or the area boys in the streets? Or could it be Doris's husband, Mr. Ade? No, it's not possible. Mr. Ade loves Doris so much. After all, Doris is the breadwinner of the house. Such a hardworking woman. But you never can tell. Anything is possible. Well, let's find out. Grab your popcorn, relax, watch, and please don't forget to subscribe. Let's go through this amazing true life story together. Doris Adewale had always known that success required sacrifice. Ever since she was a little girl, she had dreamt of financial security, of climbing the corporate ladder, and being a woman of power and influence. She had worked her way through school with relentless determination, graduated top of her class in economics, and secured a prestigious job at a leading bank in Lagos. She was one of the youngest senior executives in the bank's history, and her career was soaring, but the price of success was high. Doris was always busy. Her alarm rang at 4:30 a.m. and before the sun had risen, she was already in her car, navigating the chaotic Lagos traffic. She spent long hours at the office, attending endless meetings, signing documents, and closing multi-million naira deals. By the time she returned home, it was usually past 10 p.m. She was often too exhausted to do anything but shower, eat a quick meal, and collapse into bed. Her husband Ade had been supportive at first. He had admired her drive and ambition, but as the months turned into years, their marriage began to feel like a distant memory. Ade was a businessman, but unlike Doris, he believed in balance. He loved his wife, but he also craved attention, intimacy, and companionship. At night, he would reach for her, only to hear the same tired response: "Ade, please, I've had a long day. I'm exhausted." He tried to be patient, but patience had limits. To make things easier at home, Doris hired a cook and a housekeeper named Agnes. Agnes was a young woman in her mid-20s with smooth dark skin and kind eyes. She had been raised in the village before coming to Lagos in search of work. Doris had taken her, provided her with a stable income, and treated her kindly. Every morning, before leaving for work, Doris would remind Agnes, "Make sure Ade eats well, take care of him, make sure he lacks nothing, provide him anything he wants." She meant it innocently, but words once spoken can take on dangerous meanings. Everything was going well, and Agnes has been doing her job so well. She cleans the house, she cooks, and she makes sure the house is always in good order. One humid evening, the rain poured heavily, the city streets were flooded, and Ade, frustrated by the weather, decided to come home early. When he arrived his home, he had just stepped into the hallway leading to the bedroom when he heard the sound of running water in the guest bathroom. The door was slightly ajar, so he peeped through the door and was amazed by what he saw. He pushed the door open without knocking, stepping inside only to freeze, pretending he didn't know Agnes was bathing. Agnes stood before him, completely naked, her body glistening with droplets of water. For a few seconds, Neither of them moved. Then Agnes gasped, scrambling for a towel. "Sir, I didn't know you were coming home. I am so sorry I left the door open. I am very sorry." Ade's throat went dry. He wanted to turn away, to leave, but something held him there. He had always noticed Agnes, how her figure moved gracefully when she walked, how her eyes lit up when she laughed, but he had never thought of her in this way. Now, standing there, he couldn't ignore the sudden rush of desire that surged through him. "I'm sorry," he finally muttered, stepping back. Agnes, now covered, tried to push past him, but he gently caught her wrist. "Agnes," his voice was soft, almost hypnotic. "You are beautiful. I would like to make you my mistress. I promise to take good care of you and raise your salary by 200%. Agnes looked away. "Sir, please, Madame, trust me. I can't betray her trust." Ade smirked. "Doris is never here, Agnes, but you are. You cook for me, you take care of me, and didn't she tell you to take care of me?" Her lips trembled. This is wrong, sir. Please, I can't do this. Madame will be so mad at me. She is such a nice woman. I can't betray her trust." Ade persisted. There was something in Ade's eyes, something dangerous, thrilling. He persisted till Agnes succumbed, and he slept with her. This is the beginning of a new drama. After that fateful affair, Ade could not stop thinking about Agnes. To him, Agnes is a very sweet girl, if possible, better than Doris, his wife. At first, it was just a mistake, a single night of weakness. But soon, it became a routine. Every time Doris left for work, Ade and Agnes found themselves drawn to each other, in the kitchen, in the bedroom, in the very house Doris had built. Agnes tried to resist at first, but Ade was persuasive. He showered her with gifts, new dresses, expensive perfumes, and even wads of cash. "This is just between us," Ade whispered one night. "No one has to know. We have to enjoy ourselves. We only come to this life once, and we must enjoy it. Don't tell anyone about this. We will be enjoying ourselves, and no one has to know." Therefore, the betrayer continued. Unlike before, Ade no longer disturbed Doris at night for lovemaking. "You are tired, honey," he would say sweetly. "Don't worry, I understand. You are a very hard-working woman. I appreciate your hard work." Doris, relieved that her husband was becoming more understanding, had no idea that his needs were simply being met elsewhere. Months passed. The affair remained a well-kept secret. Then, one Sunday morning, Agnes began vomiting. She rushed to the sink, clutching her stomach uncontrollably. Doris noticed immediately. "Agnes, are you okay? What is the problem?" Agnes wiped her mouth. "I think it's something I ate. I'm fine. Don't worry, madam." Doris grew suspicious. She grabbed Agnes's wrist and said, "We are going to the hospital. I think something is wrong." Agnes protested. "Madam, it's not necessary. I said I'm fine. I'll be good." But Doris insisted that they are going to the hospital. They went to the hospital. At the hospital, the doctor performed a test. He turned with a smile when he returned after the test. "Congratulations, Miss Agnes," he said. "You are pregnant." Doris was so shocked and surprised, her eyes wide with shock. Agnes swallowed hard, avoiding her gaze. "Pregnant?" Doris repeated, her voice barely above a whisper. Agnes looked down. "It must be a mistake, madam. I'm not pregnant." Doris's hands shook. "Who is responsible? Are you sleeping with the gate man or the area boys in the streets? Does it mean that when I leave for work, you go about sleeping with all the men in the streets? Are you a prostitute?" Doris said. Agnes was silent and couldn't utter a word. Doris repeatedly asked her the question and threatened to throw her out if she refused to talk. Finally, Agnes decided to talk. "Madam, it's your husband, Mr. Ade," Agnes said. Then, without a warning, Doris slapped her. "Don't ever accuse my lovely husband wrongly again, or else I will skin you alive." Agnes insisted Ade was responsible for her pregnancy. Doris could not believe. With anger and anticipation, Doris stormed her home, her heart pounding. Ade was sitting in the living room watching television when she stormed. "Ade," she screamed, throwing the hospital report at him. He glanced at it, then sighed. "Agnes is pregnant," she said, her voice trembling, "and she says it's yours. Tell me it's not true." Ade sighed again. Then, in the calmest voice, he said, "It's true." Doris felt like the walls were closing. "How could you do this to me?" she whispered. Ade's expression darkened. "You don't have time for me, Doris. You are always working, always tired. I am a man. Blood flows in my veins. You told Agnes to take care of me. Well, she did. Who gives rats fish to look after? You gave me fish and you expect me not to eat it," Ade said. Tears burned in Doris's eyes. The room spun. The betrayal was too much. This is too much for her to bear. Doris felt her knees buckle. The last thing she heard before the darkness swallowed her was Ade's voice calling her name. She fainted. She was rushed to the hospital immediately. The doctor commenced treatment immediately and she regained consciousness, though it took some hours and special attention from the doctor before she could regain consciousness. When she woke up, the world felt distant. She still could not believe what she had heard. She felt like she was dreaming, but she was far from it. It's a very bitter reality. She opened her eyes and saw a lady standing next to her. It was Agnes, her maid, the same girl who had betrayed her. The same girl she now sees as a demon stood nearby, clutching her belly. "What are you doing here, you Jezebel of a girl? Were you joking with me all this while, or you really want to snatch my husband from me after everything I've done for you? The only way you could pay me back is by spitting on my face. My God will definitely judge you," Doris said with tears rolling down her cheeks. "Madam, I'm sorry. It's never my fault. I never wished for this to happen. It was Oga that persuaded me to do this. Well, I think that's my fate. God knows why it happened like this," Agnes whispered. Doris turned to her, eyes empty. "You have to leave, and you must abort that bastard you have in your womb." Agnes's face paled. "I won't leave, and I won't abort my own baby. Children are gifts from God. This is your husband's baby." Ade stepping in. "She's not going anywhere, and she's not aborting any child. Abortion is a heavy sin before God. Besides, you could not give me a child for 6 years of marriage. Maybe God have decided to make me smile. Like she said, children are gifts from God." Doris turned to him, voice trembling. "Abortion is a sin before God, and adultery is good before God. You are choosing her over me." "I'm choosing my child," Ade replied. She stared at him, disbelief turning into rage. "You disgust me," she said. Doris was heartbroken. This is the second time the man she loved and worked for has broken her in less than 24 hours. She can't take this anymore. She went to the house and she packed all her belongings. She is leaving the house for Ade and Agnes. As she walked out of the door, Ade called out, "Where will you go? Your job. That's all you have left." She didn't answer. She didn't look back. She's made up her mind, so she left for good. She needs to start a new life. At least not with the man who can't keep the stick in between his legs one place. It was a very difficult moment for Doris. She could not sleep or even concentrate at work for days. She hardly eats. It's too much for her. But above all, God helped her to overcome the situation. Doris threw herself into work, but this time, it wasn't just an escape, it was a new beginning. She moved into a high-rise apartment, surrounded by city lights. She traveled, she lived. Ade started living with Agnes as his wife, though they are not legally married, but they are already living together as husband and wife. Things were going well between Ade and Agnes. Everything was good, but one day, something unimaginable happened. Doris was just on a vacation in Dubai. As she was just chilling, her phone rang. She couldn't believe who was calling. It was Ade. At first, she ignored the call, but Ade kept on calling. Then, she decided to pick the call. "Babe, can we talk?" Ade said. Doris considered it, then said, "There is nothing left to say." Doris ended the call. Now, the question is this: what could Ade possibly want to say to Doris? Why calling her babe? What is he up to? Something must be wrong somewhere.